Welcome to the Hi-O YouTube channel. Get ready for an exciting journey. If you enjoy this, please like, comment, and subscribe. The Steward Demonic Emperor Chapter 7, Wraith Array. 4 hours later, they found themselves before a fog-wreathed forest. Zhuo Fan's eyes flashed each time they roamed over the trees swallowed by the mist. This is Misty Forest, covered in fog year-round. Any who enters will find it hard to come out. Luo Yunchang hesitated. We might lose them here, but we might also get lost for all eternity. Zhuo Fan didn't pay her much heed, inspecting the area, especially the mountain in the east, which was surrounded by clouds. Is that Blackwined Mountain? Luo Yunchang nodded. My dad said Blackwined Mountain's mountain lord has great power, no less than his. Our clans have been fine for decades, yet for some reason, their bandits attacked out manor. He, good place. Zhuo Fan rubbed his chin, showing heartfelt admiration. Azure Dragon in the east, White Tiger in the west, Vermilion Bird in the south, Black Tortoise in the north, and Killen's Horn in the center, breaking the sky. This is a natural array. Zhuo Fan mumbled. Such a pity. No one knowledgeable discovered it. Now that I'm here, I'll make this place my second Devil Mountain. Zhuo Fan's eyes flashed with joy. He was clear on this mountain's value. If this was sacred domain, only a saint could grab hold of such a place. Young miss, want to kill Steward Sun and the rest here? Zhuo Fan turned his head. Luo Yunchang was startled. They only numbered 3 while a strong party was hunting them down, and they had hardly enough time to escape. Just how were they going to destroy them? Luo Yunhai snorted and smiled wryly at Zhuo Fan. Stinky slave, stop bragging. Is your butt itchy again? Zhuo Fan's glare stuck Luo Yunhai's words in his throat. That round of slapping to his rear told him this servant couldn't care less for this young master. Humph, a wise man knows when to retreat. Once I get home, I'll see how tough you are. He mumbled on his sister's shoulder. With her brother in her arms and to avoid the vile servant's wrath, Luo Yunchang asked in doubt how. With a light smile, Zhuo Fan extended his arm. Young miss, how many spirit stones do you have? Please give them all to me. What do you need them for? Luo Yunchang watched him with a vigilant eye. Ha, young miss misunderstands. I'm not trying to take advantage of a declined clan and turn into an evil servant that robs it. All my actions are for your safety. Humph, still consider yourself a loyal servant? The way I see it, there's not a viler servant out there who can outmatch you. Luo Yunchang rubbed her pitiful brother's butt, as she thought that, but still gave him her ring. This is all my wealth. If you dare lie to me, I will never forgive you. Zhuo Fan took it with a smile and sank in the mist. Wait for me here. Humph, this servant is too outrageous. He even dares to order his master. Sister, you need to punish him for me. Luo Yunhai raved once Zhuo Fan was gone. She shook her head and looked at the roaming mist. Yunhai, he might be rude, but he's always helping us, much better than those strong hypocrites. We can't reward kindness with enmity. Luo Yunhai thought for a moment, then nodded. Yes, it's all that damned Steward Sun's fault. Luo Yunchang was pleased and praised him. Yunhai, you're growing up. But then he hissed through his teeth, as for that stinky slave, he should be spanked like no tomorrow. Killing him is too easy for him. Luo Yunchang was silent. Zhuo Fan walked among the white fog, his deep eyes taking in his surroundings. From time to time, his hand flashed and a spirit stone flew out from the ring and disappeared into the ground. Despite it being his first time here, he was remarkably familiar with its layout. His path never once was disturbed by the fog. In but a quarter of an hour, he traveled across the entire forest. 9 underworld gates open. 4 cardinal Wraith Array activate. His hands made signs with lightning speed, while he spoke the incantation from the 9 Serenity's secret records. The wind shifted and the sky darkened. With wails, gray shadows fell from the sky and hid in the misty forest. The fog reddened, then blackened, the same color as the sky. Constant shrieks came out. The siblings held closer to each other, shaking in fear while taking steps back for some semblance of comfort. Yet the wails and shrieks stopped as soon as they started, while the sky cleared up and even the sun peeked through the clouds. Misty Forest's fog dissipated and revealed a gasping Zhuo Fan walking over. "What just happened? What did you do?" Luo Yunchang watched him with bewilderment. He only waved and entered the forest. "Follow me." Luo Yunchang was suspicious. However, she led her brother behind. Zhuo Fan had a mysterious appearance that made the two not voice their doubts. When they arrived at an ancient tree, Zhuo Fan said, "Stay below this tree for now. I will teach you how to control the Wraith Array, and when Steward Sun comes, you can use it to kill them." "What? This is an array?" Luo Yunchang was stunned. Arrays were even more precious than martial arts in this world. No sect would ever dare release even a normal array to the outside. Even if the auction had a first-grade array, it would still sell for hundreds of thousands of spirit stones. They were rare and in high demand. If their cloud manor had a protective array, they would have never sunk so low from mere bandits. Yet, at this very moment, a mere servant casually set up an array. It was impossible that this feat would not result in the young miss being shocked silly. The Steward Demonic Emperor, Chapter 8, Baiting the Enemy. How can you? Forget about how for now, and do what I said. This is a bewildering array which can affect the perceptions of others inside. And this is also a killing array, controlling wraiths to kill your enemies. Luo Yunchang copied stiffly as Zhuo Fan performed the gestures. However, he was too fast. She could only watch him do it as she fumbled to a stop, unable to remember the movements as he carried on, stuck on the last sign she did. "Sigh, how are you so slow?" "This is the simplest method." Zhuo Fan got angry and cursed. "If you keep going like this, Steward Sun will be upon us. We might as well just serve ourselves up on a silver platter. You're as slow as a pig." All her life, Luo Yunchang was handled with all the finesse and attention a pearl would need. She received others' love and respect. Never has she been mistreated like this, degraded to such a degree. Glittering tears started welling in her eyes as she lowered her head. Yet she persevered. Seeing his sister humiliated, Luo Yunhai found courage and shouted at Zhuo Fan, "Stinky slave, don't mock my sister." Zhuo Fan just shook his head, not having the time to bicker with the brat. He found his Yuan key was only enough to start the array, failing to control it. If one were to speak of a complete Wraith Array, even if none of them controlled it, a trash like Steward Sun would end up beaten to a pulp either way. However, he only had around 1,000 spirit stones. If not for being a natural array, he wouldn't have been able to set even a damaged one. It was now in the hands of third-layer key condensation young miss to control the array. But for her, the method was long and complicated. It was hard to grasp. Worse, they were on the clock. Helpless, Zhuo Fan embraced her from behind and took hold of her hands. "What are you doing?" Luo Yunchang froze up as her cheeks blossomed with red. "Don't move and let me guide you." Zhuo Fan led her hands and taught her the signs. Despite catching his intent, being embraced by an unfamiliar man threw her heart in chaos, and her cheeks burned hotter, since this was the first time it ever happened to her. Each time her mind drifted, a voice would ring in her ear. Pay attention. She peeked at him and saw how serious Zhuo Fan was, that his actions were not aimed to take advantage of her. Humph, he knows when to be a gentleman. Luo Yunchang calmed down, and her body drew nearer to his. Feeling the strong arm behind her, this was the first time in the last 3 days that she felt safe. Steward Sun, they went towards the Misty Forest. 10 miles outside the Misty Forest, a lanky bandit checked for tracks and reported to him. With cold laughter, Steward Sun straightened his white mustache. Quite a good hiding place. We know the mountain area, but not that eerie place. However, Steward Sun looked at the bound captain, and his eyes flashed with an evil glint. Captain Pang, you're up soon. With how kind young Miss is, she won't ignore your pleas. Tui, don't think you can use me to threaten young Miss. His eyes were bloodshot as he glared at Steward Sun. You'd better kill me, or I will murder you and avenge my fellow guards. Ha ha ha, when I get the martial skill, I'll be happy to fulfill your wish. Squinting his eyes, Steward Sun let out a creepy laughter. Let's go. It took an hour for their group of 20 to reach Misty Forest. Yet before they could get any closer, snoring came from a man sleeping against a tree. A careful look identified him as Zhuo Fan. Steward Sun, it's the one who killed the fatty. Woken up by the voice, Zhuo Fan yawned and opened his weary eyes. Seeing Steward Sun and co., he showed no fear, no anxiety. Instead, a smile. Steward Sun, I've waited so long to see you. Frowning, Steward Sun watched him. He eyed him with utmost care, yet nothing seemed to tell him anything. He was just calm. What a deep-rooted schemer you are. I underestimated you, thought Steward Sun. If it were any other time, he would have never paid attention to a servant. But ever since Steward Sun witnessed Zhuo Fan kill so brutally, Steward Sun's image of him turned upside down. This punk not only hid deeply, but he's also ruthless. If he matures, only suffering awaits. Zhuo Fan, you've quite the nerve to show off before me, squinted Steward Sun. Zhuo Fan cut to the chase. Instead of replying, Steward Sun, want to make a deal? What deal? I'll give you the Luo clan's young master and mistress. So, secure my career in Blackwine Mountain. What? Not only was Steward Sun shocked, but even the guard captain was also dumbfounded. He rested his hopes on Zhuo Fan to take the siblings far away. Who'd have thought Zhuo Fan would defect and use them as bargaining chips? Why are you doing this? Luo clan hasn't scorned you. Doubts arose in Steward Sun's heart. Ha ha ha, then why are you doing this? Luo clan treated you even better. Steward Sun reddened at this and felt his rage boiling. As he calmed himself, Zhuo Fan continued, every man for himself. With how much the Luo clan has fallen, reviving it isn't something one man can do. Why should I walk towards my death? Using them to secure my life is but human nature. He picked up a red rope from the ground that trailed into the mist. Young Miss is at one of the ends of the rope. I left a few forks on the rope along the way that only I know about. Steward Sun nodded as he grabbed it. Good plan, to use a rope to mark your way. And you even included forks to safeguard the right trail for yourself. A true double-crosser, ha ha ha. He gave the rope back. Deal, lead the way. But don't even think of playing tricks. Steward Sun, I am an honest man, smiled Zhuo Fan. Steward Sun sneered, I would have believed you before, but now. Who would? The two locked their eyes, each laughing as their looks had devious thoughts. The captain's hair stood on end. He kept cursing Steward Sun as a rotten and vile human, while he barked at Zhuo Fan as one who betrayed their master. Everyone ignored him as he was escorted by the other men as they ventured into the thick mist. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to not miss future videos.